Storyside presents The New Army Daze, narrated by me, Benjamin Chow. 1. Introduction. Some men are born to be soldiers. Many, many others are not. So, for generations, less heroically inclined males could afford to twiddle their thumbs and other appendages while the robust hunks charged to the front line and made careers out of the army. Then came National Service. And like a bolt from the blue beyond, it shot into the home of the everyman and forever changed the quiet, mundane lives of us non-macho types. There were those who took it bravely, of course. They started to read war comics, began to acquire a penchant for articles of green clothing, and developed a yen for PE lessons. The majority preferred to resort to hysteria and other well-known forms of desperate panic to no avail. When National Service was first initiated in 1968, the Army didn't quite know how tough to come down on its new batch of reluctant soldiers who were themselves convinced that they were getting the worst end of the bargain. But time soothes many ills. And so it came to pass that National Service became firmly ensconced in the social fabric of life, an accepted fact of growing up male in Singapore. Today, the Army is no longer a rude four-letter word. It is many other things: an initiation into manhood, a stepping stone to success, a springboard into adult society. Oftentimes, it is also a pain in the posterior. 2. Separating the men from the boys. I wish I had played soldiers in my childhood, but no, I had to choose to be part of that elite core of 7-year-olds who frittered away precious weekends playing doctor, in white smocks, father's shirts, surgical masks, mother's sanitary napkins, and plastic stethoscopes. We struck terror into the hearts of little kindergarten girls in the neighborhood. None of us foresaw that 10 years later we would be forced to play soldiers, and that we wouldn't be using toy guns or plastic grenades either. Thus, it was that I approached my 18th birthday with some trepidation. By then, I had heard all about National Service, or NS. Much of the news hadn't been good. After attempts to alter the sex on my birth certificate had failed, I decided to put up a false front and accept my calling gracefully. The year before enlistment, I duly turned up for my registration at the CMPB, Central Manpower Base, armed with documents and an air of gallant resignation. As I sat in the large room waiting to be processed for the Army records, I surveyed the rest of my luckless generation. All aged 17 or thereabouts, they were generally bespectacled and ashen-faced, like me. It was tense. Now and then someone would cough self-consciously. Always one to face adversity with a cool, unruffled mind, I oozed nonchalance and took out my knitting needles to begin work on my 100% lamb's wool vest. Green, of course. Eyes, no doubt burning with awe and admiration, gazed intently at me as my needles stabbed a silent code into the air. It wasn't long before I was called forward to present my papers. I gave them a copy of the Straits Times, but they'd already read it and asked for my birth certificate and school cert instead. I obliged. Then I was shunted down a corridor into another room where I realized that there would be no turning back. I was headed for that dreaded medical checkup which would seal my fate forever. My legs tried to take on the semblance of jelly and succeeded. "Take off your clothes and line up behind that door," droned a bored little clerk. I blistered with indignation at his audacity, but obeyed. Not least because he was flanked by 2 oversized medical orderlies who looked like their main purpose in life was to beat dissidents into unrecognizable pulp. As I stood there in my Giordano briefs, trying to salvage what little was left of my modesty with strategic
Sample complete. Ready to continue?